first group, if you haven't been down to Mohawk, you got to go down there because it's amazing what this group of mentors does. This is our mentors who build the field. And they're here tonight, and that is Fred Van Scoy and Doug Graham. And if you don't know, I mean, we always had a field for the past few years, but the past 3 years, FIRST linked up with Disney, and the fields have been like out of control. To build those fields is almost impossible. We usually go to the Suffield Shakedown. They couldn't even have it this year because they couldn't build the field parts. But guess what? Our guys did it. And I even had someone say to me today, you know your secret to your team. You have a field to practice on. And I said, that's right, we do.
My name's Doug Graham.
My name is Fred Van Scoy.
I joined 195 in the fall of 2008 when my son was asked to be on the team.
And I joined in 2011.
195. How did you know about us?
My girlfriend's son was on the team,
And what's his name?
Brandon.
My son's name is Kyle, and 2 years after he was on the team, my daughter Megan was on the team.
Yeah, I was picking him up every night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were offered a facility to build a full-size field. So they asked if I could build one. I said, sure. That was it.
And you've been doing it ever since?
Been doing it ever since.
And that was at Saucier, right?
At Sauciers, yeah.
And what year was that when you started?
2011,
So, and then now, 2017.
18.
Oh, 18. See, I'm a year behind.
Well, the season started in 2017. So
Right.
I guess
right.
I started in the 2010 season, but it was...
Right, like me.
Yeah.
I started in the 2008 season, well, 2008, but it
Yeah.
was for the 2009 season.
Yeah.
Because
Season,
right
yeah.
after the first of the year, they watched kickoff, and then they
Mm-hmm.
we were given keys to Southington High School. For years, I didn't even remember that I had them. I had the keys to Southington High School on my key ring to get in and out of the high school.
Wow.
And we had to be out of there by 9 o'clock, or actually by 10 to 9, or the alarm would go off.
No
So
way.
the janitor would come down and shoo us out because we had to clean up and get out of there because it had a motion sensor and they had an alarm system, and we had to be out by 9 o'clock. So the kids in the team today don't realize what freedom they have to continue to work. We were there till 9 o'clock, that was it. And on Saturdays, you could be there from like 8 in the morning until 9 o'clock. That alarm was set. And we couldn't override it. So we had to be out of there by 9 o'clock. And he used to drive the robot in the hall.
Jake got here yesterday at around 1 or 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't left. He was here all night.
Yeah, I got a picture of Monty sleeping.
Yeah, he's sleeping now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. He's been here the same time. They got here about 1 o'clock yesterday and they haven't left yet.
See, they didn't listen to us when we told them to drink more coffee. Now they're sleeping on the job.
Yeah.
So,
And
I do remodeling for a living. So building with wood is what I do.
did someone say, hey, come and build this for us, or how did they recruit you?
Someone asked if I could build a field, and I said sure.
And how about you, Doug?
when I started, the team had just grown to the point where they were building practice field components, not an entire field, but practice field components. So I was handed a set of keys to Southington High School's wood shop, and myself and a gentleman named Bob Kowalczyk were there building components for the team so that they could practice, because all we had was the high school to practice at, and we were practicing in the halls. So we were making little pieces of it every year, game pieces. And then at one point they asked us to build a partial field up in the auxiliary gym at the high school.
Okay, do you have anything to add to that, Fred?
That was all before my time.
I love that answer. All right.
Well, we go to New Hampshire where they have the official kickoff, and we get to see the actual field. We take some measurements, we take some pictures, but you can also download a set of prints for the field. So we come back to our facility where we're allowed to build a field, and just off the prints we build a replica field of the official field.
Right, it's a combination of wood practice pieces that they give you dimensions for that aren't really 100% correct, while at the same time they do give you dimensions to the actual field should you want to build a real metal field with plexiglass and aluminum tubing. So we're able to adapt the wood framing to something real close to what the real field pieces are. When you say
Yes.
a lot of that occurs because the practice pieces they give you wood dimensions for really aren't exactly like the field pieces. They're more for you to practice on individual components, and we adapt them to be like the real field. And then we have all the dimensions, so we can build driver stations, and as you just saw outside, we put down the final tape on the floor that shows all the markings that are part of the field build also. So as of right now, that field is ready to go.
That's
Save
2018.
2018. So except for a little bit of paint, if they choose to want to do that, the field is ready to go.
Well, the fields are different every year.
Every year.
The game pieces are different every year.
Or the easiest year to build a field, or the most difficult year to build a field?
Well, the easiest year was 2010 because I wasn't here. But no,
I think Recycle Rush was the easiest one.
Yeah, Recycle
because
Rush.
all we had to do was build a divider wall for the center of the field and just a couple of components at the end around the driver stations.
Yeah.
That was really the easiest field. It probably took longer to put down the tape and the markings and
Yeah.
paint it than it did to actually make that field.
Okay, and the most difficult field to build?
probably would be Stronghold. Would be the most difficult field. That was what, 2016.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you build a tower?
The
and
tower, the
climb?
castles, and they had all the game pieces they had to go through on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of those had to be made, although we did get help from other teams that made components. We gave them the base, and then they built the upper part of it. I forgot the teams that helped us. There was a West Hartford team, I think it was, and Cheshire, and 558.
Okay, yeah.
They helped build a handful of pieces for us that year.
Oh, isn't that nice, huh?
Always, they're always willing to help.
Oh,
But that was really the only year we needed outside help.
Yeah, that field had a lot of different pieces. Other than that, they're fairly easy every year. There's really nothing that complicated. It's just that one had a lot of pieces that needed to be made.
I remember, was it last year when you guys were up in New Hampshire when they had the kickoff, and you saw the field and you sent a picture and you two said you quit.
Yeah.
It ended up looking more difficult than it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually an easy field last year.
Even though it looked difficult.
It was just frightening the first
Yeah.
time we saw it, yeah.
They're all frightening when you walk out and see it.
Right. When you see it for the first time, you're like,
Oh,
we're
crap.
going to build this? And then the more you walk around, the more you look at it, it's like, this won't be that difficult. Let it sink in.
So the field is built mainly mostly you two, or?
Usually it's us two. This year, past year, we had a lot more help this past year.
Yeah. A lot more parents have enjoyed it and gotten involved in it, which makes it a lot easier for us because there's more help.
Yeah, there's usually about 5 adults. Us two and usually 3 other adults help build the field.
But you two are in charge.
If you want to call it that.
I guess.
If you want to call it
If
that.
somebody's got to be in charge, I guess it's us.
This is your chance, your chance to promote yourself.
Right.
Ooh, another pay raise.
Another pay raise. I'll add another 0.
Okay, what else do you want me to know? Is there anything else you want me to
I
know?
think you know enough already myself, but
Yeah. Do you
I
do
don't
you
know when-
enjoy?
I
do you
have no
like
idea
it?
when I'm
Do you
gonna
love-
stop.
Do you love doing this?
oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's fun.
That's why
Why-
we're here every year. The
Why
kids
we're
are
here.
gone, we're still here
Yeah.
And you
because we have fun. It's fun to
plan-
travel. It's
Yeah.
a great group of people to travel with, and
No.
about it.
It's fun. If anyone else wants to help, we're always willing to have people come down and help. We like to get the kids involved too, to have them do some painting to try to make it look a little better for other teams when they come to practice. Shows a little pride in our work, sort of thing, to make the place look like a real field as much as we can. So the kids enjoy it. They all go home with paint all over themselves. I can't believe I haven't been yelled at by a parent yet for
Why do you keep coming back year after year?
Because the pay is good. They give me a raise every year. They just add another zero on it. No, it's a lot of fun. It's amazing to see what the kids can do, and it's amazing how everything turns out. So that's why we keep coming back.
Yeah, it's fun to build something that the kids get to use, that the robotics community can use, because the field is obviously opened up for other teams to come practice and use, and it's a chance for them to get better, as long as us to get better by playing on a pretty close to regulation field out there.
Yeah. Your thoughts, your feelings toward 195.
Well, I think it's a great group of kids. It's a great team. And we hope that all this effort to have a real practice field here is one of the components that's helped to make them as good as they are.
A lot of great adults, too.
Yeah, a lot of great adults that really give a lot of time for the enjoyment of it. Truthfully, it's just the enjoyment of it. As we joke, right? Every year we get a raise, right? Twice as much. 2 times nothing is nothing, but we still come back to help out. And it's for the kids, and it's a little camaraderie and some apple cider donuts and coffee every Saturday morning. So.
Well, we thank you so much for all you do for Team 195. We appreciate you. Team 195 appreciates you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Here, here, here.